Pedro from A&P-REACTS. I'm here with Scott from Cloak. How are you doing today?
We're doing good. The tour's been going very well so far, so no complaints. The only complaints are that the shows have been so packed that we could barely walk through the venues, so that's a good complaint, right?
Well, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
So it's been about a week since the album came out, Burning Dawn. You guys have been touring since the release of the album. How has been the fan reaction to the new record?
I think it's been going really good so far, and being able to tour the same day that we started our tour, the same day the album came out, being able to do that has been very rewarding to see the feedback, at ground zero right away. So it's been very good.
Was the creative process behind this album different from your debut record?
Only in the way where we became more confident songwriters and more confident in the way that we worked as a band. And I would say we wrote it in a quicker amount of time too. So it wasn't so much contemplating what we need to do here and there. It was just like, let's get it done. Let's do what fits best here. And yeah, there was more demoing behind a lot of the songwriting instead of trying everything in practice where it just got daunting. We went home and did a lot of things on our own and added stuff here and there. So it kind of it added all up to what it became. I was slowly, but the final product was quicker, if that makes sense.
You guys have a very unique darkness to your music. Where did you guys pull that darkness from?
It's always been inside us. It's just, Cloak is an expression of what we needed to get out of us since the beginning, and that's always been how it is, and that's always going to be how it will always be. So it's just something that we're born with, pretty much. And I think Cloak has been a good vessel to express that darkness.
One of the things about the record, I want to go back a little bit to the record. One of the things about the record that really impressed me was the structure of the album. It has a really unique structure, and it allows the record to really flow well from song to song. You almost don't notice the time going by as you're listening to the record. When you guys sit down to put the album together and you start looking at the individual tracks, do you take how the album is going to flow overall into consideration as you're putting it together?
Not as we're putting it together, but sort of in the end is when we put the track listing together. And I think when you're writing an album, the flow is going to be there either way because it's all done in that 2 to 3 year cycle. For us it was 2 years or a year and a half. No, but we didn't really say like, well, how is this song that we're writing going to flow into the next? We just kind of did it, and I think you're right though. I think the tracks really flow well together in the end, and we said the same thing. We're like, it's a 49-minute album, but it really doesn't feel like it, so that's a good thing because always leave them wanting more, right?
Yeah, it's one of those albums you can play it on repeat and you almost lose track of time. I'm sure for you guys that's exactly what you want from the record.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was a goal. I think Venomous went on just a tad too long, and so we wanted to strip it down just a little bit.
Touring with bands like 1349, Chemist, Wada, does that impact the way you guys create music? Does that impact your sound?
Not really. Those bands are definitely inspiring to us from a workhorse standpoint because they're very hardworking bands. So it's cool to be able to work with people like that. I wouldn't say from a songwriting standpoint, but we respect the hell out of all these bands that we've been on the road with.
As you guys continue the tour, you've only been on the road for a week now. The album's only been out for a week. What can fans expect as far as the set list for the show from tracks of the new record?
More new tracks than old. We only get a 35-minute set, so there's 3 new ones or 3.5 new ones if you count the intro, and 2 old ones. So it's a good mix, I think.
Do you feel like the new album now just gives you guys a little bit more liberty as far as the set list is concerned, just gives you a little bit more of depth, because now you have a lot more to pull from, so that allows you as well as you move along to perhaps have even longer sets?
Yeah, absolutely. I think any band that has more than a couple albums is gets to kind of play with that set list, and it's nice to be able to do that instead of just play everything that we've been playing since 2014-15 in the set. So it's nice to be able to have these new songs for sure.
As the tour continues, and I know the tour just started a week ago, but as the tour continues and as you start looking for the future, as you guys are promoting the new record, where can fans expect to see you guys beyond North America?
Well, we just announced a European tour today, so we're hitting. It's pretty short. It's I think 9 dates, but we might be adding on some of our own there. So yeah, definitely Europe in the future. It's nice to be able to get to Canada for the second time, and we'll be hitting the U.S. plenty on this record. So we're going to be doing a lot of touring on the Burning Dawn.
Last question I have for you. It's kind of a personal thing, at least for me. The first time I saw you guys play was in this venue, opening up for Chemist. And as I started passing the word around of Cloak and trying to get the good word out there, people were asking me, like, how do you define their sound? How you define them? And the best way for me to describe was that you guys were like a blackened Motorhead band in terms of sound. Do you agree with that, or do you have your own way of describing the band's sound?
I think any way people want to look at it is fine. Genre doesn't really matter to us at all. We're a rock and roll band. To me personally, we have the spirit of a black metal band. I think we always have and we always will, but it all boils down to rock and roll in the end. Metal is rock and roll. That's what we want to do. So genres don't really matter. You know, we get the black and roll term thrown on us a lot, and it's just it doesn't really affect us or the way that we write or the way that we want to care or look into our music at all. So any way people want to look at it is fine.
As long as they're listening.
Yeah, for sure. As long as they're listening and hopefully understanding in the end.
Thank you very much for your time. Yeah, best of luck with the tour, and I hope to see you guys again soon here.
Yeah, we'll be back. I appreciate it.
Thank you.